Sparks erupted from Queen Salith's chestplate. The monarch crumpled mid-benediction, her iridescent scales paling as the coronation dais filled with gasps. Mara Vance shoved through the stunned courtiers. Her boots thudded on the polished obsidian steps. No one moved. Protocol froze them. She hit the dais running. Wrench out. Power conduit exposed. Crackling blue arcs danced across the harness filigree. Mara's gloved fingers pried the emergency latch. "Hold still," she muttered, though the queen lay limp. She yanked the main breaker. Silence fell. The sparks died. The court exhaled, eyes locked on the human mechanic. Shipyard grease still under her nails, tool belt clanking. Mara ignored them. Diagnostics first. She flipped the queen's harness panel. Fractured regulator. Pressure valve shattered, venting life support plasma. Classic cascade failure. The armor wasn't just ceremonial. It filtered the queen's blood, regulated her neural crown. Without it, minutes. Keth Oren burst forward, the royal armorer's robes swirling. "Out." "This is sacred right," his voice boomed, forearms gesturing wildly. Mara didn't look up. "She's dying, move or help." She stripped the regulator bolts with a power driver. 3 turns. Out it came, shrapnel from some impact, maybe the pre-coronation parade jolt. No time for palace parts. She dug into her bag. Ship-grade pressure valve. Human make, rated for hull breaches. Oversized, but it'd seal. The armorer loomed. "You profane. Profane gets her dead." Mara slammed the valve home. Threads bit perfect. Torque wrench clicked to spec. Tight. Queen Salith stirred. A low rasp escaped her mandibled lips. Her compound eyes flickered open, locking on Mara. No fear. Assessment. The queen's clawed hand twitched toward the harness. Chancellor Nyrex Tall glided in from the sidelines, his strategist robes whispering, "Human, you overstep." The groom's right. Mara squeezed field epoxy from her dispenser. Gray ooze filled the fracture lines, hardened in seconds under the UV lamp. Sealant glowed, bonding molecular. She slapped the panel shut. Live reboot. Risky, but stasis would kill faster. Power surged. The harness hummed. Queen's chest rose steady. Vitals stabilized. Plasma flow green on Mara's scanner. The court erupted in murmurs. Lord Prelate Jeroen Krael stood at the dais edge, his claimant sigils gleaming. He leaned to a whispering aide, eyes narrow. Ketharoon knelt beside the harness. His fingers traced the repairs. Impossible. Human alloy in Vorcraft? He probed the valve.
It held. His crest flared. Shock, then reluctant awe.
"By the Forge Eternal you have bound the shell to flesh." As right demands. Mara wiped her hands. Just a swap. She's good now. Keth rose, voice carrying. "Witness, the outsider mends without flaw, seals the breach in open court." Under Palace Code. Article 7, she who grooms the armor claims the bond.
He struck his chest plate.
"Mara Vance, you are groom of the armor." Gasps rippled. The queen pushed upright, harness purring. Her gaze pinned Mara. Intense, unblinking. Courtiers whispered groom like a curse. Mara blinked. "Groom? Like polish guy?" Chancellor Nyrex stepped between them. Smile oily. "A high honor, Engineer Vance. The title binds you to Her Radiance's service. Indissoluble. Political implications. Wait. Vitals solid, but secondary relays flickering. Not done. We need a full diagnostic bay." Keth snorted. "The bond is sealed."
Tradition. Queen Salith raised a claw. Silence crashed down.
She spoke, voice resonant through her vox grill. Words follow. Gratitude? Test? Heat flushed Mara's cheeks under that stare. Alien poise, but vulnerability lingered in the faint tremor of her antennae. Jeroen Krael's voice cut through. "Majesty, this upstart claims groom rights? My line holds precedent. The armor's mender weds the shell-bearer. Succession demands purity. Nyrex world. Lord Prelate, decorum. The human strengthens the alliance."
She traced the harness conduits. Microfracture in the neural crown.
"If it blew, coma. Your Majesty, off days." Now, she offered a hand. Human gesture, steady.
Salith grasped it. Claws firm, not piercing.
Cool scales against skin. She rose, taller than Mara by a head, harness gleaming with the fresh repair.
The court parted. They moved to the antechamber.
Keth trailed, muttering about barbarian valves. Mara worked fast. Exposed the crown relay. Alien filigree, Beautiful, but brittle under stress. Palace craft prioritized aesthetics. Shipyard grit favored function. Human ingenuity, Salith said softly. No translator lag, her grill adapted. You see fractures others miss. Mara shrugged, soldering a bypass. Machines lie the same everywhere. Yours just dresses fancier. Spark. Done. She powered up. Crown synced. Salith's hand lingered on Mara's shoulder. Keth speaks truth. Groom binds lifemate to ruler. My court sees vow in your wrench. Mara's pulse jumped. Misunderstanding. I'm just fixing gear. The queen's mandibles clicked. Amusement. Action speaks. In Vor, repair claims the wearer. Keth nodded vigorously.
Sacred. You stripped old. Fitted new.
As consort writes, Nyrex entered, flanked by aides. Precisely, Maravance, your efficiency serves the realm. A human consort stabilizes borders. Sign the alliance charter? Jaroon shoved in behind. Alliance? This mocks tradition. No off-worlder weds the Vor. My claimant's blood purifies the line. Salith straightened. The armor lives. Court abides. Mara packed her tools, politics closing in. Her repair practical fix, now a wedding bell? She met the queen's gaze. Trust flickered there, earned in sparks and epoxy, but rivals circled. Aid burst in. Majesty, petition floods the hall. Groom must affirm or forfeit legitimacy. Salith's crest flared. She turned to Mara.
Choose, engineer. Bond or exile.
Mara gripped her wrench.
No, backing out.
The queen's life hung on her next fix, and now, her heart. Jaruan smirked. The wrench wielder flees. Not today. Mara stepped forward. But what vow had she just sealed? The chamber doors boomed open. Claimants poured in, banners high, crisis ignited. Claimants surged through the chamber doors, their banners snapping like whips. Lord Prelate Jorun Krail led the pack, his robe swirling, eyes locked on Mara. The off-worlder defiles our right. Banish her before she poisons the line. Mara tightened her grip on the wrench. Her toolkit weighed heavy on her shoulder. Queen Silith rose from her throne, crest flaring red.
Silence. Engineer Vance mends what tradition broke.
Nyrex Tall stepped beside the queen, voice smooth. Majesty, let tradition guide. The groom's bond stabilizes us. Petitioners demand affirmation. Kethoruun loomed at Mara's side, his armored frame tense. He muttered low. Armory, prove your maintenance before they tear her down.
Salith's gaze pinned Mara.
Demonstrate on practice cuirass.
Court watches. A toy? This farce ends in exile. Mara nodded once. No time for debate. She followed Keth through a side arch, boots echoing on stone. The armory swallowed them, racks of gleaming plates, tools humming with charge, claimants crammed in behind, a sea of crests and glares.
Keth slammed a heavy schematic slab onto the workbench, but he yanked it back.
No charts for you, human. Tradition binds fixer to wearer.
He stripped the queen's seal lock. That's consort vow.
Blood oath deep. Mara set her toolkit down with a thud. Schematics. Now. Or her life support fails again. Keth's mandibles clicked defiance. Vor armor fuses soul to shell. Fixer claims it, or dies trying.
You pried hers free.
Court saw. She snatched a loose panel from the rack. A practice cuirass, dented but intact. Watch. This undoes your vow. Salith entered last, her weakened frame draped in a robe. Court packed the walls. Nyrex whispered to aides. Jaroon crossed his arms, smirking. Mara worked fast. She popped the side seams with her multi-tool, exposed the power weave, vortec, crystalline threads pulsing blue, alien precision, fragile under stress. Their war had cracked it. Queen's last battle left microfractures. Seal lock ceremonial, she said, voice steady. Fail-safe for emergencies. But rigid, no quick release.
Keth growled. Sacred rigidity.
Holds the wearer eternal, until it doesn't. Mara pulled a spool from her kit. Modular alloy, human forged. Flexible self-healing. She threaded it through the weave, soldering nodes with her plasma torch. Sparks danced. The scent of ozone bit the air. Claimants murmured. One banner dipped closer. She fused the quick-release clasp. Thumb-sized magnetic lock. Press here. Demonstrated on the practice piece. Cuirass hissed open, plates folding smooth. Power weave stayed live, no flicker. Keth snatched it. Tested the seal. It clicked shut. Seamless. His crests twitched. Impossible. No fracture. Redundancy. Mara tapped the new weave. 3 failsafes layered. Pulls power from backups if main cracks. Salith leaned in, mandibles parting. She traced the clasp. Safe removal. Without scripting. Mara met her gaze. Golden eyes held hers. Trust sharpening. Maintenance. Not marriage.
Jeroen shoved forward. Lies!
Off-world trickery mocks the bond. My claimant wears true Vorshell, unfixed, unbroken. Nirex raised a hand.
Or genius. Human consort brings innovation.
Sign the charter, Mara Vance. Bind realms. Court erupted. Banners waved. Aides chanted, Groom! Keth gripped his hammer, eyes on Mara. Resentment cracking. Salith silenced them with a crest flare.
Engineer, fit it to me.
Mara froze. Majesty, now. The queen shed her robe. Scars laced her exoskeleton. Battle-worn, regal. Life support tubes snaked from her old armor, piled nearby. Court hushed. Jeroen's smirk faded. Mara exhaled. Grabbed the queen's cuirass. Same fractures, deeper. She sliced the old seal lock with precision, torch whisper thin, no damage. Wove the modular line. Clasp snapped in. Step in, she said. Salith complied. Plates molded to her form, humming alive. Mara thumbed the release. Hiss. Armor parted smooth. Queen stepped free, upright, breathing steady. No collapse. Gasps rippled. Keth dropped his hammer. Clang echoed. Ingenious, he breathed.
Human shortcuts save.
Salith donned it again. Seal locked. She moved. Fluid, armored grace restored. Proof. Maintenance binds nothing but duty. Deception. The fixer touched the shell, bare vow seals. Nirex countered. Innovation serves. Alliance. Aid burst from the hall. Petitions double. Off-world Groom must affirm in grand right, or Queen's legitimacy crumbles. Salith's crest dimmed. She faced Mara. Tubes still trailed her. Full repair waited. Your fix holds me. Their eyes see vow. Mara wiped sweat. Heart hammered, practical wrenchwork, twisted into romance. Queen's gaze lingered, warmth in the gold. Trust? More? Not fleeing, Mara said. Stepped closer. Fingertips brushed the new clasp. Sparks jumped. Not plasma. Jeroen sneered.
She yields. Off-worlder weds or flees.
Keth blocked him. She saved the shell. Honor that. Silas' mandible grazed Mara's hand. Click. Soft. Choose. Engineer. Bond as they claim, or forge new. Court leaned in. Banners stilled. Mara felt the pull. Politics. Tradition. Those golden eyes. Her wrench hand itched. A low rumble shook the armory. Distant horns blared. Claimant forces massed outside. Nirex paled. Rivals mobilize. Affirm now, or war. Mara gripped the queen's arm. Solid. Alive. Her fix. Her vow. Do it, she whispered. Full repair. Then we settle this.
Salith nodded.
Crest bright. But Jeroen's guards shifted, blades glinting. Crisis boiled over. No more demos. Time to weld shut the lies. Mara slammed her torch into its holster. The armory shuddered again. Deeper this time, like a reactor priming to blow. Horns wailed outside, but she ignored them. She yanked her diagnostic pad from her belt and slapped it against the queen's armor port. Data flooded the screen. Jagged spikes in the power relays. Logs, she barked at Keth. Now. Full access. Keth's mandibles clicked in shock. He thrust a crystal key into the console. Off-worlder rivals circle the gates. Save it. Mara synced the pad. Sensor logs scrolled. Timestamps matched the prior failures. A timed fault sequence hid in the auxiliary core set to cascade at peak court hours. Sabotage, not glitch. She traced the code. Alien script, but pattern screamed human-level hack. Recursive loops to evade scans. Salith's voice cut through the din. Engineer, speak. Someone rigged your armor to fail on schedule. Mara pointed at the pad's glowing fault tree. Next hit in minutes. Here. Now. Jeroen laughed, a wet rasp. Lies, she forges peril to claim the shell and the throne beside it. Nirex stepped forward, robe swirling. Or a proof of Groom's vigilance. The court watches. Mara tuned them out. She popped the armor's secondary panel. Wires hummed, hot to the touch. The real core pulsed steady. Her patch held. But the saboteur's trigger lurked deeper. Goal. Baited out. She grabbed the spare power cell from her kit, jury-rigged a decoy with a feedback loop. Simple swap. Fake core draws the hack, overloads it early. Kef leaned in, crests flaring. That bypasses sacred seals. Keeps her alive. Mara slotted the decoy. It whirred to life, mimicking the real one's signature. She keyed a remote ping from her pad, broadcast the bait signal. The armory lights flickered. A technician in palace grays darted from the shadows, wrist tool raised. He jabbed at the console. Mandibles working a silent chant. Mara lunged. She tackled him mid-stride, shoulder slamming his carapace. They crashed into a rack of ceremonial blades. He thrashed, claws scraping her coveralls. She pinned his arm, ripped the wrist tool free. A coated seal gleamed on its band, Jeruin's crest etched in micro-relief. Got you. She twisted his arm back. Guards piled in, hauling him up. Jeruin's face twisted. That seal is forged. Treason from a Groom pretender. Salith rose from her throne daze, tubes snaking behind her. Her crest earned gold. The logs confirm. Fault sequence matches his tool's signature. The decoy core sparked once, then vented harmlessly, hack fried. Armor stable. Queen breathing easy. Court murmured, eyes on Mara, the off-worlder who turned sabotage into spectacle. Nyrex bowed low. Innovation binds. The off-world Groom, engineer, Salith interrupted. She extended a clawed hand. Mara took it, firm grip, warmth seeping through gauntlet. As my personal armorer, inside these walls, no whispers escape. Mara nodded, pulse quickening at the touch. Personal. Didn't matter. Saboteur caught, but logs hinted at more. Chained faults, next one tomorrow.
Deal. But I need full schematics.
And Keth. Keth straightened, pride cracking into respect.
I forged true. You?
Adapt. Together.
Jeroen snarled. This elevates a wrench hand above tradition. The grand rite demands silence. Salith's voice cracked like thunder. Guards dragged the technician away. Engineer Vance stays. Repairs continue. Petitions wait.
Mara repacked her tools, eyes scanning the armory. Shadows lingered where the tech had hidden.
One down, but the chain ran deeper. Her pad beeped, residual signal from the seal.
Pinging an outside relay. Claimant camp?
Outside, horns faded. Rivals held back, for now. But Jorun's glare promised more blades. Silith leaned close, mandible brushing Mara's ear. They see vow in your hands. I see skill. Her gold eyes held Mara's. A spark jumped. Not circuits. Prove them wrong. Or right. Mara's wrench hand flexed. Romance or repair? Both twisted tighter. The pad chimed again. Next fault sequence armed. On schedule. Mara grinned. Time to make it explode. On her terms. She cracked her knuckles and dove back into the logs. The armory's main console yielded under Keth's key. Deeper layers, encrypted with Vor Dynasty ciphers. Mara bypassed them with a brute force algorithm. Human code, optimized for shipyard scrambles. Fault chain revealed. 5 nodes each timed to erode the armor's legitimacy seals. Sabotage dressed as decay, forcing a queen to yield her shell in public shame. Here. She highlighted the next node.
Auxiliary coolant loop. Triggers at dawn assembly. Kef's claws tapped the screen. Sacred fluid. Warto.
Tainted, the court declares impurity. Salith watched from her dais, armor half sealed. They force my hand, strip the shell, crown a claimant. Not today. Mara sketched a rig on her pad. Shunt the coolant to a dummy line, loop in a plasma vent. Bait the trigger, trace the source. Need your forge tools.
High-temp alloys.
Keth nodded, fetching a glowing ingot.
Vor steel. Bends for none.
Mara welded the shunt barehanded, gloves off. Heat kissed her skin, familiar sting from 100 shipyard shifts. Aliens gasped. Their crafters wore full suits. She quenched it in the ritual basin. Perfect fit, Nyrex hovered at the edges, whispering to aides. The Groom forges destiny. Petition swell alliance seals prepare. Jeroen paced, caged. His guards eyed the exits. Mara caught a flicker. One slipped a Kama crystal into his sleeve. More players. Install time. Mara knelt at Silith's side, fingers brushing iridescent scales. The queen's breath hitched, subtle but there. Steady, Mara murmured. She slotted the shunt. Systems synced green. Test ping, the pad lit up. Incoming hack, now. Coolant loop surged. Mara hit the remote override. Plasma vented in a controlled flare. Holographic seals shimmered intact. But the trace pinged back, straight to Jeroen's private forge. Got the source. Mara stood, pad thrust at Salith. Your rival's mark. World fabrication. Off-world tricks. Salith's crest flared crimson. Seize his forge. Now. Guards moved. Chaos erupted. Jeroen's men drew blades clashing with loyalists. Mara grabbed a loose pipe, swung it like a bat. Cracked a traitor's claw. Keth flanked her, hammer singing through air.
Salith pulled Mara behind the dais.
Standard debug. Mara wiped blood, hers or theirs, from her lip. Queen's hand lingered on her shoulder. Heat built. Court cleared, bodies dragged out. Nyrex bowed. The bond strengthens the throne.
Salith dismissed him with a flick. Alone with Mara and Keth, she unclasped a seal from her armor.
Wear this, personal armorer's mark. Mara fastened it to her belt. Heavy, warm. Tool? Her skin tingled where fingers met scales. Keth grunted approval. Human steel complements for fire. Pad. Chain's final node. Throne room core, mid-right. On schedule. Mara met Silith's gaze. Rigs ready. We end Chancellor Nyrex, swept into the throne room, robe swirling. My queen, the envoys from the outer reaches arrive. The sector watches.
Salith straightened, crest flickering gold.
She nodded to Mara. Attend me. Mara clipped the pad to her belt, the seal from Salith's armor still warm against her hip. Guards hauled the last of Jeroen's men away. Keth lingered at the dais edge, hammer slung over his shoulder. Envoys filed in, scaled diplomats from rival hives, eyes gleaming under hoods. Hollow screens bloomed around the throne, broadcasting live across Vor space. Nyrex positioned Mara front and center. Behold the groom of House Vor, Mara Vance, who mends the queen's very life. Mara blinked. Camera's word. Groom? That's not. The translation glyph hovered midair, pulsing. Mara tapped her pad. Alien grammar overlays flickered. Hold on. Your word's off. I'm the armorer. Repair tech. She synced her pad to the official record. Lines of code scrolled. See? Groom implies bonding right. Wrong route. It's forgemate. Temporary fix partner.
Envoys murmured.
Nyrex's smile tightened. The record accepts your correction, Vance. As spoken. Mara's pad chimed confirmation. Green light. Done. Salith's gaze locked on her. Subtle shift in the queen's stance, shoulders easing. Lord Prelate Jeroen Krail shoved through the guards.
Blasphemy. The human claims forgemate status on public record.
Under right law, that's bow confirmation. Holoscreens froze on Mara's words. Text crawled. Forgemate declaration logged. Binding affirmed by off-worlder tongue. Mara's stomach dropped. What? No, grammar glitch. I fixed it. Krail thrust a data slate forward. Challenge filed. Trial by right in 3 days. Prove the bond or forfeit the queen's legitimacy. Salith's crest flared crimson. Dismissed. Guards blocked Krail. He sneered over his shoulder. The sector sees your scandal, Vor. Human taint ends your line.
Nyrex bowed smoothly. A trial strengthens alliances, my queen.
The groom. Out. Salith's voice cut like a blade. The throne room emptied. Holoscreens winked off. Mara wiped sweat from her brow. I just debugged a title. How's that a wedding? Keth snorted. Your words bind like weld steel. Four rights don't parse temporary. Salith rose. She gripped Mara's arm, scales rough warm, pulled her into a side corridor. Stone walls sealed behind them. Restricted access, red glyphs pulsing warning. Dim glow strips lit the narrow passage. Air hummed with hidden vents. Salith released her but stayed close. Touch my armor, now. Mara hesitated. Queen's plates gleamed, etched with power conduits. The same rig Mara had patched mid-chaos. Why? Stay within reach, always. Silas' claws traced a seam near her collar. Public right.
You fixed the hack. You wear my seal.
Act apart. Mara pressed fingers to the plate.
Metal thrummed under her touch. Life support steady. No leaks. This is politics, not engineering. I don't do vows. Silith leaned in, Breath ghosted Mara's cheek, spiced with ozone. Politics is the machine. You break it open. Krail wants my throne vacant. He claims my line ends without air bond. Your correction locked us. Mara's pad beeped, throne core alert. The final node. Midright tomorrow. We trace it clean. No trial needed. Too late. Salith's hand covered Mara's on the armor. Heat seeped through. 3 days. Envoys spread the marriage across sectors. Nyrex spins it for trade packs. Krail for rebellion. Footsteps echoed. Keth appeared at the corridor mouth. Armory prepped. Human tools integrated. Good. Vance hunts with you. Discreet. Mara pulled back, but Salith's grip held. Eyes like polished obsidian met hers. Fail, and my court fractures. Succeed, and the queen's crest softened to amber. Mara swallowed. Sparks jumped where skin met scale. Chart the node, Mara said to Keth.
Keth grunted.
Follow, Sciolith shadowed. Armor brushing Mara's shoulder. Corridor twisted into palace depths. Forge vents hissing steam. Walls veined with glowing conduits. Keth led to a sealed grate. Core access. Jerusalem's mark here? Mara scanned. Padlet red. Encrypted deeper. Alien code. Nested loops. Humans brute force this. She jacked in.
Fingers flew.
Keth watched. Hammer ready. Vorcraft weaves fate threads. You unravel? Debug protocol. Lines cracked open. Trace pinged. Live feed to Krail's hidden relay. Salith hissed. He spies the right itself. Mara isolated the node. Reroute. Purge. Explosion rocked the grate. Feedback surge. Sparks flew. Keth yanked Mara back. Salith shoved forward, shielding. Heat washed over them. Mara's suit charred at the edges. Queen's armor smoked, but held. Keth pried the grate. Clear. Relay fried. Mara coughed, checked Salith's plates. Conduit stable. You good? The Salith touched Mara's singed sleeve.
You shielded the core. Again.
Not intentional. Mara stood. Pad confirmed. Chain broken. Proof for trial? Keth sealed the grate. Right demands more. Bond proof. Touch. Forge. Vow. Back in the corridor, Nyrex waited with a guard escort.
My queen. Envoys demand audience.
The groom's valor spreads alliance offers flood in. Salith's hand lingered on Mara's arm. Prepare the right armor. Vance attends. Nyrex's eyes gleamed. As consort? Armorer.
Salith pulled Mara closer. Whispers rippled.
Mara's skin tingled. Seal weighed heavier. Not just metal. They emerged into the grand hall. Envoys bowed low. Hollow screens reignited, sector-wide. Krail stood at the far dais, allies clustering. He raised a claw. The trial begins tomorrow. Human pretender falls. Salith faced the crowd. Mara at her side, hand on armor. Touch constant. Mara's pad vibrated. New alert. Incoming transmission. Not Jeroen. Source. Off-world. Human embassy? She glanced. Message blinked. Vance, sector alert. Vor marriage confirmed. Fleet inbound for alliance protection. Recall you? Mara's blood chilled. Her fix echoed galaxy-wide.
Syleth noticed?
Problem? Mara met her gaze. My people think it's real. Ship's coming. Queen's crest flared gold. Claws tightened. Then make it work. Crowd hushed. Camera zoomed. Mara stood firm, fingers steady on royal steel. Krail laughed. The off-worlder weds erects the throne. Salith stepped forward. Mara tethered by touch. She mends. Heat built between them. Not just circuits. Trial tomorrow. Fleets inbound? One touch too far? Mara yanked the access panel off the right armor's backplate. Sparks flew as her multi-tool bit into the exposed conduits. The Grand Hall's echoes faded behind her. Salith had swept onward, leaving her with Keth and a cart of scavenged shipyard scraps. Keth loomed over the workbench, his armored frame casting shadows.
Human! Queen commands upgrades for trial!
Fail, and Krail claims the throne. Mara ignored him. She pulled a flexible alloy spine from her crate, salvaged from a freighter's emergency O2 recycler. Human standard redundancy. Cut power to one line, this baby kicks in seamless. She crimped it into the armor's life support weave, fingers flying through solder points. Keth's claws scraped the bench. That, scrap? For Ridermar is sacred alloy, not off-world junk. Works better than sacred. Mara snapped the prototype online. Diagnostic lights pulsed green across the spine. Test it.
Keth hesitated. His team, 4 apprentices in gleaming robes, shifted uneasily.
Palace protocols demanded rituals, chants, incense, claw signs over each weld. Mara slapped a checklist onto the bench. Laminated paper, human style. Step 1, cycle primary O2 feed.
Step 2, cut it. Watch backups engage.
Repeat 50 times. Log failures here.
An apprentice blinked multifaceted eyes.
Lists, we attune through meditation. Attune later. Fail now, queen dies in trial. Mara thrust a stress tester into the apprentice's claws. Go. Keth snatched the sheet, scanned it. His crest flattened, insulted. But he nodded once. Do as Off-Worlder says, for Salith. The team huddled, tools hummed. First cycle, primary failed at 20%, spine caught it clean. Gasps rippled. Second cycle, third, logs filled with ticks. By cycle 30, apprentices murmured approvals. Keth's claws steadied on the tester. Mara watched from the bench's edge. Her pad buzzed again. Human Embassy, Fleet ETA 12 hours. Confirm union rights? Extraction viable? She silenced it. No time. Salith needed this armor unbreakable. Enough. Keth straightened. It holds.
Install.
Mara grinned. First win. She slid under the armor's torso mount next morning. Trial loomed at dawn. Palace thrummed with guards. Her tamper seal rig waited. Microsensors woven into every seam, logging tool contacts, timestamps, even pressure signatures. Human shipyard trick, beat thieves cracking hull safes. Seal activates on close, she told Keth, threading the final wire. Logs beamed to Queen's throne pad. Irrefutable. Keth's eyes widened. No Vor armorer bears such scrutiny. Queen does. Mara activated it. A soft chime echoed. Seals glowed blue. Locked. Tamper once. Expose forever. He tested a claw against a seam. Log pinged. Keth Orun. Calibration touch. 417. Perfect. Footsteps echoed. Salith entered the chamber alone. No escort. Right armor gleamed on its stand, spine humming faintly, seals pristine. Mara bowed shallow. Habit from shipyard bosses.
Ready, Your Majesty?
Salith's gaze locked on Mara. Crest, flared, subtle gold. Keth froze. Tradition bends. Salith stepped to the stand. Claws clicked into gauntlets. Chest plate sealed with a hiss. Spine integrated flawless. She flexed. Servos purred. Mara handed the helmet. Their fingers brushed, lingering. Salith's eyes held hers. Trust, raw. Walk with me, Salith said. Voice modulated clear through helm speakers. Keth protested. Conspirators lurk. Envoys press for Groom rights. Salith ignored him, pushed the chamber doors wide. Mara fell in step. Unarmed, toolkit slung. Palace corridors stretched empty at first, then whispers built.
Salith strode unescorted.
Armor seals caught light, broadcasting untampered perfection. Apprentices trailed at distance, awed.
They hit the east wing. Shadows shifted.
A robed figure darted. Lord Prelate Jorun Krail's sigil on his sleeve. Salith halted. Show yourself. The figure emerged, minor noble, claws twitching. Majesty, unseemly. Human shadows your steps. The seal proves loyalty. Salith tapped her chest plate. Log projected holographic, last touch. Mara Vance, 417. Speak your grievance. He glanced back. 2 more emerged. Krail allies. Right armor touched by Off-Worlder. Vow-bound. Trial demands consort proof. Or abdicate. Mara tensed. Goal, expose them. But Krail's web tightened. Salith's voice hardened.
Vance mends you scheme.
Her spine, redundant heart.
Vor queens bear single life threads. Dual vows eternity.
Fleet inbound seals it. Mara's pad vibrated. Fleet update, docking clearance granted. Alliance protocols active. Salith turned to Mara. Claws gripped her shoulder. Firm, electric. Truth? Redundancy standard. Safety. Mara met her gaze. Noble laughed. Radical. No queen walks dual-threaded. It binds you as Groom, forever mender. Alarms blared distant. Guards rushed. But more shadows peeled from alcoves. Krail's faction. Claws raised in challenge sign. Salith shoved Mara behind her. Armor servos whirred. To the trial hall.
They bolted.
Corridors blurred. Mara matched stride. Toolkit banging. Seals logged every step. Public proof. Nyrex appeared at a junction, flanked by envoys. My queen. Groom's upgrades herald union. Sign the accords? Saleth blasted past. After trial. Krail's voice boomed from hall speakers. Pretender's touch corrupts. Abdicate, Saleth, or wed the human? Crowd roar swelled ahead. Mara glimpsed hollow screens, her spine schematic looping galaxy-wide. Human feeds called it Vow Forge. Fleet docks clanged, ships landing. Saleth paused at hall doors, turned. Pulled Mara close, helm to face. Breath fogged the visor.
Your normal shatters thrones.
Mara's heart hammered. Just engineering. Claws traced her jaw. More. Lips brushed visor kiss proxy. Heat surged. Circuits and skin. Doors hissed open. Krail waited center arena. Right claws extended. Crowd chanted. Cameras locked. Saleth stepped in. Mara tethered by grip. One seal glowed. Active. Fleet sirens wailed outside. Krail lunged. Prove the bond, or fall, Saleth released Mara. Armor flared. Trial ignited, but Mara's pad screamed final alert. Human Admiral hails. Consort Vance, stand by for escort. Vor throne secured. Her fix wasn't metal. It was chain. EMP burst, ripped through the procession. Queen Saleth's armor locked solid mid-stride. Joints seized like rusted hinges. She toppled forward, claws scraping marble. The crowd in the trial hall gasped. Hollow Chimera's word, broadcasting live. Mara Vance lunged. Her toolkit slammed the floor. She yanked the manual override cable from her belt, thick, shielded braid she'd jury-rigged for Vorian power grids. No time for finesse. She jammed it into the armor's spine port. Sparks flew. Servos whined in protest.
Queen, hold. Mara braced her boots against the dais.
She hauled back on the cable. Armor plating groaned. Inch by inch, Saleth's massive frame slid toward the alcove cover. Claws from Krail's ambushers slashed the air. Blaster fire scorched the walls. Saleth's visor flickered. Internal alarms blared through Mara's tethered pad. Life support at 40%. Joints fused. Breach imminent. Mara's arms burned. She wedged her shoulder under the Queen's pauldron. Pulled harder. Fabric tore on her jumpsuit. They cleared the alcove edge as a plasma bolt vaporized the spot they'd vacated. Guards charged in.
Royal blades clashed against challenger claws. Kethorun, the armorer, bellowed from the sidelines.
Human filth! You'll strip her seals!
Mara ignored him. She flipped open the armor's auxiliary panel. Exposed wiring pulsed erratically. EMP fried the primaries. Backup spine glowed faint. Vorian tech, elegant crystal relays, fragile under surge. Aliens built for ceremony, not brute force. She stripped a conduit with her multi-tool. Cross-wired it to the hotwire bypass. Human trick. Fleet mechanics used it on fried colony rigs. Current surged. The spine lit green. Saleth rose. Saleth rose. Claws flexed. Armor seals flashed royal blue. Legitimacy intact. Broadcast for all to see. Krail snarled from the arena center. His right claws gleamed. Challenge token dangling from his belt. The pretender falters. Her shell fails without off-world taint. Saleth pivoted. Faster than Mara expected. The Queen's gauntlet shot out, snatching the token mid-leap. Krail's eyes widened. She crushed it in her fist. Shards rained. The right demands protection in peril. Salith's voice boomed through hall speakers. Mara Vance shielded me, dragged me from death. Hot-wired my throne. The bond holds. Challenge denied. Crowd erupted. Cheers clashed with boos. Krail's faction recoiled, but Nyrex Tal slithered forward from the envoy's box. Majesty, the Groom's valor seals the accords. Human ingenuity weds Vor's strength. Sign now, avert crisis. Salith ignored him. She turned to Mara. Claws gripped her shoulder. Gentle, for alien steel. Visor tilted close.
You pried open more than metal.
Mara's pulse raced. Heat flushed her cheeks. The Queen's grip lingered. Thumb traced her collarbone through the tear. Body language screamed what words couldn't. Trust forged in crisis. Keth stormed up. His forge hammer tattoos flexed.
Impossible. No armorer bypasses EMP locks without full rebuild.
Mara wiped sweat. Held up her cable. Manual pull. Human override. Your crystals sing when you give 'em juice.
He stared,
then nodded once. Grudging respect cracked his scowl.
Guards dragged Krail back. His howls echoed. Tradition binds her to the protector. Succession demands the vow consummation. Salus armor word. She pulled Mara tighter. Let them spin webs. You act. That's throne. Fleet sirens pierced the hall. Human admiral's hail buzzed Mara's pad again. Consort Vance escort inbound. Vor throne secured. Mara swallowed. Her fix echoed galaxy-wide. Not just circuits. A chain. Outside, landers thumped down. Human marines in void suits double-timed toward the doors. Vor sentries parted ranks, no clash. Alliance visuals, primed by Nyrex's spin. Salith led Mara from the arena. Procession reformed, stronger. Cameras trailed. Mara matched step. Toolkit secure. Nyrex caught up.
slid beside them. The court sees your drag as dowry.
Krail twists it to force marriage. Wed her formally. Control the rivals. Mara shot him a look. She's not a machine to weld. Salith's claw squeezed her hand. Hidden from cams. He schemes. You solve. Corridors sealed behind. Private wing. Guards posted double. Kef lingered at the antechamber. Spine held, but seals logged your touch. Public vow proof. Mara nodded. Scanned the armor feeds. All green. Runtime stable. Next EMP. Add my shielding. He grunted. Teach me the pull. Inside the sanctum, Salith disengaged her helm. Violet skin gleamed. Biolume threads pulsing. Eyes locked on Mara. Predator assessing Meta. You risked all. Salith's voice dropped. Raw. No protocol demands a mechanic drag queen.
Mara set her pad down, stepped closer.
Broken gear. You crash, I fix. Claws cupped her face. Thumbs stroked jaw. Salith leaned, lips met. Warm. Electric. No visor. Mara melted in. Hands roamed plating seams. Breath synced. Pull back. Foreheads touched. Humans, normal is vow. Extraordinary. Mara grinned. Just torque. Alarms chirped. Nyrex's voiceover calm. Majesty Krail petitions High Council. Claims your protector must claim throne. Or forfeit legitimacy.
Silas' eyes hardened. She reactivated helm.
Let him. Mara hotwires councils too. Mara's padlet. Admiral, fleet primed. Your call, consort. Engineering turned empire. One cable at a time. Krail's faction rallied outside. Chants rose. Bond or betray. Salith gripped Mara's wrist. Armor tether glowed.
They push marriage.
We choose.
Mara nodded.
Toolkit ready. Doors sealed. Private strategy brewed. Human ingenuity met royal will. Collision course. But Mara's scan pinged deep. Armor core temp spiking. Not EMP.
Overload from proximity?
Her touch lingered in the circuits. Salith noticed.
Smiled behind visor. Your heat integrates.
Romance hummed. Politics boiled. Fix incoming. Salith's claws tightened on Mara's wrist. She yanked the armory door open. Courtiers flooded the grand hall beyond. Robes swirling. Biolume crests flaring. Chants of bond or betray crashed against vaulted ceilings. Mara stumbled forward, toolkit clanking at her hip. Silith thrust her into the center dais. All eyes locked on the human. Krail stood tallest among rivals, his prelate robes etched with claimant sigils. Nyrex hovered at the queen's flank. Data slate glowing. Kethoran glowered from the armorer's podium, seals still smeared with Mara's diagnostic grease.
Silence!
Salith's voice boomed through her helm. Armor servo's word. She released Mara.
Step to the throne dais. The human saved me.
Proof chains the saboteurs. But tradition demands choice. Krail leaned forward. His voice slithered. Majesty, your groom touched core rights. He must claim throne, or void your legitimacy. Salith ignored him, gestured to 3 arched doors flanking the dais. Crystal panels shimmered, one etched with chain links, one barred with thorns, one woven with tether cords. Mara Vance, choose. Mara's pulse spiked. Scan pad vibrated in her pocket. Armor temp still climbing. She met Salith's gaze through the visor. Predator eyes gleamed back. First door, Salith said. Exile. Prison for off-worlders. No return.
Krail's faction murmured approval.
Thorns pulsed red. Second door.
Pointed.
Palace mechanic. No titles. No vows. Nyrex nodded subtly. Chain links hummed neutral. Third door. Salith's voice softened a fraction. Voice modulator hid the warmth. Formal bond. Groom, spouse. Throne, co-claimant.
Tether cords glowed blue. Courtiers gasped.
Keth crossed his arms. Mara felt the weight. Politics door. Prison door. Their door. Mara squared her shoulders. Pulled her pad. Before I pick, proof first. She synced to the hall's central hololith. Data chains projected. Seals from her toolkit. Timestamps irrefutable. Sabotage trace. Microfractures in your armor's power relays. Deliberate overload. Gasps rippled. Mara zoomed the holo. Seal matches Krail's armory access code. His aides handled the Queen's gear pre-ceremony. Your own logs, Keth. Confirm it. Keth's crest flared. He strode to his podium. Scanned the chain. Human seals. Pure. Matches my forge marks.
He slammed a claw down.
Lord Prelate? Your hands on royal plate? Krail paled. Lies. Human forgery? Mara cut him off. Swiped the pad. Live audit. Your faction's comms pinged the relays right before failure. EmpireNet confirms. Guard surged. Krail's allies drew blades. Salith's armor cannon deployed with a hiss. Arrest them. Chaos erupted. Claws clashed. Nyrex directed enforcers. Mara stood firm, pad shielding her face from a flung chalice. Krail snarled as binders snapped on. This groom steals our right. Dragged away, his faction howled. Hall quieted, bodies slumped. Salith deactivated her cannon, turned to Mara. Proof accepted. Choice stands.
Mara exhaled.
Toolkit weighed heavy. Human normal? Fix the brake, move on.
Alien extraordinary. Every weld a wedding. She stepped to the chain link door.
But I negotiate terms. Nyrex's eyes widened. Terms, palace hires serve, treaty clause. Mara projected a fresh template. Human embassy standard, adapted on the fly. Define Groom as guardian engineer, not spouse. Repairs, protection, no throne claim. Courtiers buzzed. Keth grunted approval. Practical. Armor needs it. Salith tilted her helm. Precedent? Mara nodded. Your archives. Ancient forge masters called groomers. Bonded gear, not blood. Nyrex scrolled his slate. Obscure, but binding. Salith raised a claw. Silence fell. Claws passes. Mara Vance, guardian engineer. Groom by right. Cheers erupted. Wary from rivals, fierce from loyalists. Mara signed the holo with her thumbprint. Relief flooded her. Politics diffused. One crisis down, Keth clapped her shoulder.
Human shortcuts. Save queens. Nyrex bowed. Wise pivot engineer.
Stability holds. Salith dismissed the court. Doors sealed. Hall emptied. Only echoes remained.
Mara turned.
Salith's visor dimmed. Private mode. She stepped close. Claws grazed Mara's arm. Door chosen. Mara checked her pad. Armor temp stabilized. Gear secure. Salith's voice dropped raw. No modulator. Keep the title anyway.
Mara blinked.
We just... Public clause buys time. Salith cupped her chin. Tom stroked. Private? You are Groom.
Helm retracted.
Lips brushed Mara's ear. Walk with me. Armory. Heat flushed Mara's skin. Circuits hummed in sync, her touch lingering in the plating. Romance wasn't protocol. It was torque. She nodded. Gripped Salith's gauntlet. They strode to the inner doors. Armory lights flickered on. Benches gleamed with tools. Keth's precision craft beside Mara's jury-rigged hacks.
Salas sealed the chamber. Leaned against a forge.
Test integration. Tress open. At seams. Mara's breath caught. Exposed scales shimmered. Vulnerable. Alive. No life support hum. Just breath. You're off grid. Trust you. Salith pulled her close. Hands roamed. Fix me proper. Mara's fingers traced relays. Sparks jumped. Skin to metal. Overload from proximity. Our sync overloads buffers. Salith purred. Claws tugged Mara's jumpsuit.
Enhance it. Lips met.
Fierce, Mara pushed back. Hands delving seams. Tools forgotten. Bodies aligned. Human ingenuity met alien fire. Circuits sang. Alarms pinged, distant. Nyrix comm. Majesty. Krail's allies rally in cells. Claim hidden proof voids the clause. Salith broke the kiss.
Eyes blazed. They never stop.
Mara grabbed her pad, synced to cell cams. Got their proof. Forged timestamps. 1 override. Salith grinned. Retracted plates. My groom. Toolkit ready. Mara torqued the future, but a new scan flashed. Deep armor core. Not sabotage. Resonance. Their bond rewriting the code. Empire hummed. One weld at a time. Deeper crisis brewed.